And it's very interesting. You said that your father forced you at first, and then you did it for some time, whatever, a half hour or a few days or whatever it was. And you said, actually, I kind of like this, right? And what pushed you to get better at doing that?
I really believe that anything you do in life, the best things you do is actually things that come out of passion. My drive wasn't any forced thing or, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be that. It was kind of like I just really enjoyed the time. And every time that I came up with a new idea, I could implement it. I remember doing for my mother, I was again like 9, and I was like, for her birthday, I'm going to do this like animated transformer with like, was horribly pixelated, but transformer that would transform for, because I really liked Transformers back then. It was
Yeah.
kind of mid 80s. And I was like, I do transform and they transform and say happy birthday, mom. And like today I write greeting cards. I still write like manual greeting cards. Like that's so cool. I had such a great idea at the age of 9 that not a lot of people can do. So it was an outlet for my creativity, and I found a really interesting balance between my analytical tendencies with my
hmm
creative artistic side. So I think it was just like a perfect instrument to bring those two together.
So, do you have an example of a program or something you created that had those two pieces that came together?
Yeah, I think at one point I was really fascinated in trying to build the next Photoshop. And it was kind of like, all right, how can I create the best graphic editing tool and can make my own kind of file extensions? And that was probably the closest to it.
Do you always enjoy software, or were you at all interested in hardware?
For me, it was software because I really like to be closer to the outcome, right?
hmm
So I feel with hardware, you can do amazing things that would unlock and enable levels of innovations that we can only dream about. I mean, you look at almost everything we do from CPUs to virtual reality. So hardware is really interesting. But for me, where I get the satisfaction is you think about something you can create relatively quickly. Hardware also sometimes takes long
Yeah.
cycles, and you can see the impact on the end consumer. You can actually iterate on it and build better and better offerings.
Everybody that I know or founders that I've talked to that are tech entrepreneurs that have really a hardware focus and so on, they have taken apart something when they were a kid, right? Maybe it's a lawnmower or something that they shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah.
You got a computer when you were 9 years old and you built some software, right? So did you ever have the equivalent of that where you took apart programs just to learn them a little bit better or learn a language that you didn't know prior?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's interesting. My inclination was not to disassemble my computer, right? To your question, yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of where you start hacking things. And I took a lot of the games that were back then. I said, well, let me figure out if I can understand how they're written.